Hey, how's it going? This is Matthew Ashton for MUX1402. This is my week one discussion. It's going to show the heuristics evaluation sheet as well as the article that I found in one of our research databases. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and compare the ESPN Sports Center app and an app that's called Caught Offsides. That's all about soccer news. So I'm going to have Reflector run in here so I can actually show you some of the options that I was talking about. So let's go ahead, open up Sports Center. So visibility of ad status, you didn't really see it too much in that one. However, where the iAd is here, it will actually show a spinning icon and then load the newest data and the iAd. So this app does not support landscape mode, but it does show you, however, if you go to favorites and you want to add a favorite, it will show you local teams based on your location. I live just outside of Boston, so obviously it's going to show all the Boston-based teams. So I think that's a great way to show the match between the real world and the app. So there's always going to be this tabbed view controller here at the bottom for user control. And I think it's really great. Obviously, it shows consistency between everything. And if you were to go into a news article, real quick, it does always have a navigation on the top to go back. I couldn't really find any error prevention. Consistency and standards. So similar to almost all apps, it does have a cog gear up here in the top right hand corner for settings. That's pretty much always going to be your settings and preferences. So I think that's great. And then also in the, say you were to go to the sports section here, it does have the light gray arrow denoting that if you click that, it brings you to another view. So I think that that's obviously some consistency. And it does, of course, support pull down to refresh, as you can see right there. So let's go and keep going. So if you were to close the app, it does remain on whatever tab you left out on. So I think that that's great. But it will only refresh the data when you open it back up and either pull down to refresh, or if it's been a while, it will automatically refresh on its own. So I think that that's great that it doesn't sit there and use up your data in the background. So you do have a favorites team here for flexibility and efficiency of use to get to some of your favorite teams. As you can see, it does show scores as well as news. So I think that that's a great feature to have all of your favorite teams or leagues all in one location that you can go to. I wish it was the initial view, but with it being SportsCenter, obviously they want to highlight their own thing first and have that be the initial view. So this app's gone through many redesigns and many improvements to the UI. It used to have a terrible design. I did not like using it, but then they've redone it with the light gray background, the white text, really clean, nice crisp logos. The only thing I don't like is that the iAds are in the middle of everything, as you can see right there. And also in the news, it does have iAds right in the middle of articles. You see there's one for Coors Light, scroll down some more articles, and also there's one for Reebok. I just don't think that that looks good. I couldn't really find any error messages. And help, there is just like a little bit, that's just more of like an about rather than actually help. I couldn't find an actual help section. So yeah, so that's the Sports Center app. I use it just about every single day. The Caught Offsides app, slightly bit different. This one is just more specific to soccer, and it's really just going to show news, as well. It does have some other features. Sorry, excuse me, I've been a little sick this week. So this one, as you can see real quick there, it did have a spinning icon, and it says loading news. Also, when you first launch the app, there is a splash page that has an orange logo that is spinning, saying you that it's refreshing data. This app does not support landscape mode, and there is no real tie to any type of location services. So this app always has top left-hand corner, brings up a separate view to get you to some other things. And that's pretty much always going to be there. If you do click on an article, it does always have a back button, so I never really found myself getting lost. So consistency and standards, this one, some more. It does have a cog gear, as you can see here, for preferences and settings. So again, there's consistency. And of course, in the main feed, there is again the light gray arrow saying that if you click on that, it's going to bring up another view with more information, so your traditional detailed list. And it does also support pull down to refresh. So this it does remember whether you left off on the Caught Offside tab or the feed tab. When you open it back up, it will launch to that. So the thing that I don't like in terms of flexibility and efficiency of use, to get to results, you kind of have to scroll through a lot of different things, and I wish they had a little separate section for it. So the aesthetic and minimalist design. So I do like the color scheme that they're going with. However, I mean, so for the tab view within the news, I think there is a little bit too much. I'm not the biggest fan of having an actual like preview of what the article is going to be about. I think it just makes this look a little bit too big. However, I do like the pictures that they use. Obviously, they're a good size and be able to be seen really well. Also, with the ads at the bottom, it kind of can be confusing for some users because they can think of it as a like that's normally where you define the tab controller, like the Sports Center app. So having them down there can be a little confusing. Color scheme works well. They do have the subtle hints of orange, which is also in their logo, so it's creating some brand standards and consistency. So I think that that looks great. Error message rarely appear. This one does have a great help section under the Preferences tab. If you were to go to the tutorial, click on it, you're able to go through, see some different items, where to go for different things, how to do different things. And I think it's great because you are able to pick your favorite teams at the end. So I think that that's a great way to really focus on what the apps is all about, which is having your favorite team news feeds right there. Yeah, so those are the two apps that I've compared. Obviously, they are similar, but they do have some differences in terms of the way that they deliver content and just some overall layout. So here's the article that I found, and it's the rise of the UX expert. And it talks about just how important design has become rather than just interface. And it talks about how a lot of companies are now really focusing on looking for people that have experience in both rather than separate. And I think this is a great example right at the beginning. It talks about this company that wanted to develop a mobile app or mobile part of their normal software. And so they had 100 features that they thought were awesome they wanted to put into it. By the time they talked to the designers, they had whittled away 80% of the features because obviously the message was simple. Less is more. So I think that that's really great way to think about design. And I actually really kind of did that when I was going through my application plan because I started out with something that was a little bit more complicated. And then as I went through, looked at more design issues, I actually narrowed it down and took out a couple of features that I was initially going to put in and just made it super simple at first. So it's a really great article that I found. It was originally from Computer World, and the title of it was Rise of the UX Expert. So yeah, so that's Matthew Ashton from 1402. This is my week one discussion. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you guys next week.